All right, Sherpets, it's Scott, the Skincare Sherpa, and I am back for another recording with you so that you can look over my shoulder and in hopes that it would help you build a successful skincare, hair care, body care, or pet care brand. I'm going to try to not talk too long today because I hear Bernie the blower guy down the street, and you know Bernie's always trying to blow when I'm trying to record. No matter what time I try to record, it seems like he's always out there blowing. Got some dedicated leaf blowers around here in these parts. If you hear it, I apologize for that. But I wanted to just give you a quick update on what was going on in Amazon and then jump into what I have for you today, which is some pretty cool software platform that I found. But, you know, previously I've been trying to figure out the problem with my Bear Bam product. It's not showing up on the detail page, even though everything is completed. The images are in there. The pricing is all set up. The title is there. Everything, and it has inventory in stock. If you remember, we sent in inventory a week or two ago. It's in there now, and it's showing up. The inventory is showing up in Amazon. But the product isn't showing up for some reason. When you try to go to the page, it says, sorry, there's no page here that exists. So I called them yesterday, and it's one of the most frustrating things about Amazon is that just the customer support that you get there, it's often hit or miss. And there are a bunch of idiots that work there, and I always seem to get the idiots, so you have to call back several times. And I don't mean any disrespect, but when you're an idiot, you're just an idiot. Sorry. So I called in yesterday like 3 times. The first time I called in, I was happy because I got an American woman, and I could understand her perfectly. And I was like, oh yeah, I got somebody great. I don't even know why I thought that. Just because she could speak good English doesn't mean she was any better. But so she wound up telling me that the reason that my product wasn't showing up was because the date wasn't correct, but I told her that I had fixed the date, the offer launch date. I'd fixed that several days ago, and that couldn't be the reason because it was updated in my system. And she said, well, why don't you change the price by a couple cents and try to save it again? Maybe that would do it, but sorry, there's not really much I can do for you. There's no reset button or anything that I can press to fix this, because I had asked her, hey, is there a reset button? Because I've called into Amazon a million times. I know there's a reset button, like a soft refresh they can do. And she said, no, there was no such thing. And I was like, okay, whatever. And so I changed it by a couple cents. I updated the date from the 7th to the 9th, because she said maybe because it's a past date, it won't work. So update it to today's date. All this craziness. And so I tried that. It didn't work. I waited another hour or two, called back in to speak with somebody else. And you know how you call back in and you just pray that you don't get the same person that you got before. Your hand is on the hang up button in case you get the same woman, because you don't want to be like the person calling back because she didn't, you're calling back and that lets her know she didn't know what she was talking about, but you don't want to be rude for some reason. I don't know why I do that. But anyway, I got somebody else, and she said that everything was fine on their end, that it was active, even though it wasn't showing active on my side, that it was showing active on her side, and that she was able to add it to the cart. And this is after, you call back in, you have to explain everything all over again and give them the ASIN and all this other stuff. So it's always painful. And she said, no, everything is fine. It's fine. I was like, well, I can't see it on my end. And she said, well, the reason you can't see it on your end is because sellers aren't allowed to see their own products on their computers or through their IP address. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've seen my own products forever. I've never not been able to see my own products. And she said, it's set up like that so that you don't buy your own products or leave any reviews for your own products. So you're not going to be able to see it. But she said she saw it perfectly. And I said, that doesn't make any sense, because I'm looking at other products that are in my inventory now, in my managed inventory, and I can see them. So why could I not see this one? And she said, well, I don't know, but you can. I was like, well, what about if I go to an incognito window? She said, no, that won't work. You're not going to be able to see it. Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I said, okay, well, I understand that. That's incognito window is still the same IP address. And I said, but what if I use a VPN that's not my IP address? And she said, well, you probably won't be able to do that either. It's just, I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do. The only thing we can suggest is that you call a friend and see if they can see it on their side. But we're seeing everything. Everything is fine. I was like, okay, I'll try that. Thank you. And so I hung up. I wound up calling my girlfriend, having her check on her, and she couldn't see it either. So of course, that was idiot number 2 that I had gotten. And so you just have to be persistent. I would always recommend that you call back at least 2 or 3 times until you confirm something, especially if they tell you no or something isn't going the way that you want it to go. You have to call back a few times because the level of competence is not always the best. And so I called in a 3rd time. And I always try to talk to someone from the catalog team. I've mentioned that before because they're like a level 2, in the hierarchy of customer support. Level 1 are the first people you get. They can do the basic things, but they don't have the right permissions or all the permissions to do other things. And then level 2 is the catalog team. And the 3rd time I called in, I luckily I didn't have to ask to be sent to the catalog team. Somebody from the catalog team answered. And he was pretty helpful. He said he could do a refresh, and he tried that, and it didn't work. And he saw the problem. It had something to do with the date. Still, the date is in the future because I had set it up like that, but before I realized that the product and everything was going to be in so soon. And so he said that he had to escalate it to the next level, and that he wouldn't be able to do anything. And that next level does not have any type of phone support. They only do things off of email. And so he said he would do that and that it should be fixed by last night or first thing this morning. And so I checked first thing this morning and it's still not working. So I guess at this point, I'm just going to have to wait until the 14th comes. It's the 10th today, so the weekend. And then just a couple other days, everything should be fine. So I guess it's not going to kill me. There's nothing I can do. I've wasted enough time on that already. So when that is up and running, we will be able to jump back in and I'll be able to show you a few other things that I have set up there. But so now for today, I wanted to show you something cool that I found, or somebody recommended it to me. I'm not sure how I came across it, but it's a platform that I plan on using to do some influencer marketing. And I will just go to it here. It's called Stack Influence, and you see the website up there, stackinfluence.com. I will be sure to add that to the resource list that I'm putting together for you. If you don't have a copy of that resource list already, you can get that by going to theSkincareSherpa.com, theSkincareSherpa.com. Pop in your email address, and then I will shoot you over the link to that document. It'll always be updated, so it has the latest and greatest of the websites, the programs, the software, the people that I use, and so that should really help you get some shortcuts, get to the destination quicker by not having to vet through a bunch of things. And if you are vetting, add this to the list, and you can use that as a comparison. But so what this Stack Influence does is they specialize in campaigns, marketing campaigns, using micro influencers. And so I have reached out in the past to influencers for my products, and it is a little bit painful, and I'll make some recordings on how I did that. But it is kind of labor intensive, and then you find the right ones and you reach out to them and let them know that you'd like to send them some product, and then they respond back and you mail out the product to them, and then you're trying to follow up with them to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, or all that stuff. And so it can get kind of complicated. And so what Stack Influence does is they do all that for you, but they do it with micro influencers. So a micro influencer is someone who has an audience of between 1,000 up to 100,000 people. And so that's different than a regular influencer, also called a macro influencer. They usually have 100,000 up to 1 million followers. And then the celebrity influencers are the ones that usually have more than 1 million followers. But micro influencers can be really good because they usually focus on something very, very specific. They have a very specific niche. They'll be in beauty or travel or fitness, skincare. And so it makes it, when you find one of them, the audience is super targeted, and it's a good idea. They also have really high engagement, because it's a lot more intimate when you're with them. And the users, the followers, are much more likely to comment. They're more likely to like the content that they're putting out, and they're also more likely to share it. And it's also the relationship with the micro influencer that they have with their followers is more authentic too. Like, you see yourself in that influencer. You're following them. It's a smaller community. You share a common problem. They often write back to you when you message them or do something, and so it's a lot more intimate. They help build trust because they're sharing their own experiences and insights, and the people who are following them really resonate with that, and they really enjoy the interaction there. For a celebrity influencer, or even a regular influencer that has 1 million followers, 500,000 followers, that's just too many people for them to try to personally interact with. And so it's a much better, tighter, close-knit community, and because of that, the engagement is better, and then what happens with the product that they recommend is much better as well. Like, the conversion rate is a lot better. And so Stack Influence specializes in that. I have not used them yet, but I plan on reaching out to them and just to find out a little bit more about what they offer. But if we look down here, so you wind up paying them with the products, and they have over 11 million micro influencers on their platform, so that's a good thing. And it looks like they take care of everything for the campaign. So before, where I was doing all that myself, they do it for you. And so let's just take a quick look on how it works. So it seems like the first thing that they do is that they're going to create a landing page for you because they need a place to send the influencers that they want to kind of take on the campaign. And then they're going to do research and identify your target audience, and then invite micro influencers to be a part of the campaign. They'll manage every aspect of the campaign. So they'll just make sure that they get the product that they're supposed to get, make sure that they do the posting that they're supposed to get, and make sure that they get paid. And so and when I say get paid, the micro influencers are compensated with products for their social posts. And so these micro influencers, when I was reading up on it, it said that they're really engaged and they really do want the products that you're sending them, because they're using them, and that's basically their only form of compensation. So they want to make sure that they get something that they're really going to use and that they hopefully will like. They're not just requesting a hammer because they have no use for a hammer. But whatever the niche that they're in, they're going to be requesting. If they're in fitness, they're going to be requesting gloves or resistance bands or medicine balls, things like that, and they really will use them. And then so after that, then they will give you the content. They give you curated content, and you get campaign analysis of everything after that. And so Stack Influence does everything that you need done. You don't have to worry about any of that. And then I did a little bit more digging here, and there's a brand here called Neutralize that use them. And so you can click in there and read, it's a beauty brand, so it's about as close skincare under beauty category. And so it just shows you all the cool stuff that this beauty company, skincare company, Neutralize, did for them. And what Neutralize wanted is they wanted to generate branded content, strengthen their social media presence, and drive targeted traffic to their new products. And so they got nearly 2,900 beauty influencers to participate, and within 2 months they completed 1,100 promotions, and they reached 2.7 million people by using them. And then there's a social analysis. And then one of the great things about it is is that you get all the content from all of those micro influencers, which is one thing that I am really looking forward to. In a previous recording, I talked about a software company or a service provider that takes pictures for you, influencers that take pictures for you, but that's just one or two. When you send out the product to hundreds, if not thousands, or whatever number you decide on, they're all going to take pictures for you. And that's really exciting because you can use that. You see these pictures here. That's user-generated content that we've talked about before, and it looks great. It looks like a regular woman showing the product in her bathroom. There's nothing better. It doesn't look staged at all. She's just a happy person, great skin, in her house, in her robe, and it looks real. And so you get all of these assets from them, from the micro-influencers, and that is great. And so it shows you some of the people that use the product, and then here's just an overview of it. People are showing the product, the micro-influencers targeting, how they track the right people, the campaign goals that they shared with them. Be sure to check all this out. And then so you see you get all these different pictures, and they're great. And so you can use that on your website. You can use that in your ads. You can use that Facebook, any place that you wanted to use. It's really great content. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to brand sign up and fill in my information, and then find out some more details about this, because this is all that I know now. I'm not quite sure how much it costs. When I had done a little research previously, though, it didn't seem to be too expensive. As I recall, it was about $40 per post, and then they had a flat fee of maybe $300 a month for unlimited. I think that's what it is, but I'll be sure to let you know once I have filled this in and gone through their process of speaking with somebody, or maybe the information is here. And I'll share it with you because it may be something that will help you. And so with that, I will leave it for now. Fingers crossed that all my Amazon problems are taken care of. Fingers crossed that everything goes smoothly here with the signing up for Stack Influence. And like I said, I'll be sure and share that with you once everything is wrapped up. And if it's something to record, I'll be sure to record that as well. So if you are listening to this and watching on YouTube, please click the like button. That lets other people know that this podcast and these recordings exist, and it helps us share the message with other people. And if you'd be so kind, please stomp on that subscribe button so that you know when I release other videos. And if you're listening on any of the podcast platforms, you're going to need to jump over to YouTube. Sometimes it's good to just see what I'm showing as opposed to just listening to it, because I try to describe things clearly, but sometimes you just have to watch it. And when you get there, like and subscribe if you would do me that favor. So with that, I will leave it there. I will pick back up with the next recording. Every day I'm doing these for you, so I hope you're getting a lot out of them. I hope it's helping you on your journey. I hope it's not too overwhelming. If it is, just stop, take a deep breath, one foot in front of the other, take another breath, and then just execute one video at a time. Don't move on to the next video until you finished everything in the last video, if that's appropriate. I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I just want to make sure that you get the best information, the most information, and that it helps you. And so with that, I will leave you with what I always leave you with. Let's keep climbing.